For the longest time, I secretly wanted more. I often found myself shrinking to fit in, settling for what was comfortable, and even selling myself short. Once I finally accepted that we deserve success and we are blessed with the power to achieve it, I stopped playing small. I'm serious about building a life I love, and you should be too. I'm Denise Taylor of DeniseTaylor.live, and welcome to Life, Love, and the Pursuit of Happiness. I help women prioritize themselves, their success, and their happiness. Let's meet this week's achiever whose story will inspire you to push past your fears and soar. Hello, it's Denise Taylor. Welcome to this week's episode of Life, Love, and the Pursuit of Happiness. I always get excited every week when we bring to you a powerful sharing, a powerful testimony from an achiever who can help you be encouraged in your life's journey. You see, what we are about here is letting you know that you can indeed build a life that you love without apology. We don't have to compromise. We don't have to discount. We deserve and are worthy of the life that we desire. We just have to make sure we see ourselves successful, that we shake off fear, that we do the work, we take care of ourselves, and we hold fast to our faith. For those of you who listen with us often, you know those are the success superpowers. I believe that you can engage those in whatever area of your life that you want to rise up strong in. You know, God has not given you a spirit of fear, but He has given you power. And here we believe you can embrace your power and go. Now, before I get into today's episode, I want to say thank you. Thank you for each and every one of you who have taken time to rate and review this podcast. When I read your reviews, I am sincerely grateful that you took the time to tell me what this podcast means to you. It is the fuel that helps me to press on and make sure I continue to show up to be impactful in this moment so that you can know through the testimonies of others that you can do it too. Now, one of the things that is often talked about that you guys love, and I'll admit I love it too, is when we start talking about the wisdom that we have gained from life. At the close of every episode, I always ask our guests to share with us their life wisdom that they would tell their younger self, to share with us their love wisdom that they would tell their younger self, and their happiness wisdom. And that is when we get to tap into the wisdom and experiences that each of us have earned. We have taken life's lessons and turned them into wisdom. And now when I ask our guests about what they would tell their younger selves, we get to hear that wisdom amplified. Now, if you are a part of our Facebook community, then you know from time to time, I will ask those very questions within the community so that we can hear from everyone there what wisdom they have to share. And recently, I asked our community what was their life wisdom that they would tell their younger self. And let me just say this. There were some good nuggets. It was so hard for me to choose which ones to share today because I know that my life experiences may not resonate with someone else, but if we could pass on wisdom, we can help those coming behind us to understand from our experiences. And so here's some of the responses that were shared in our Facebook community. Shalisa said she would tell her younger self this: it's about to get a little crazy, but hang in there. God's got this handled. Don't worry so much. Tanya said she would tell her younger self, get your education and your money right before having children and getting married. Don't rush into relationships. Take time to get to know who you are with. If he doesn't bring anything to the table, run. Ask him about his goals. And if he doesn't have any, lose his number. Now, Roberta said that she would tell her younger self, keep going. You are worth it. KG says she would tell her younger self two things. Number one, be like Nike and just do it. Number two, trust what you sense. I love that. And Daphne said she would tell her younger self, don't shrink to make others comfortable. Be your authentic, full self and shine as brightly as you were created. Now, I'm telling you, these nuggets are powerful and they come from a place of experience. And that's what I love the most. Dana said she would tell her younger self, calm down, complete the work, and be patient. Beautiful. Suzanne said she would tell her younger self three things. Believe in yourself and your ideas, and don't let others' lack of vision stop you from realizing your vision. Number two, know your value and don't accept anything less. And number three, change is a good thing. It forces you to step out of your comfort zone. I told you these were good. Rebecca says she would tell her younger self, start investing money. Kimberly said she would tell her younger self, don't dim your light to make others feel good. Elizabeth said she would tell her younger self, save your money and always trust your gut. Michelle said she would tell her younger self, go for it. Don't be afraid of doing what you are passionate about. I'm telling you, life is speaking here. Darlene said she would tell herself, take nothing from no one, especially before marriage. Don't accept foolishness. Don't lie to yourself to stay with him. Move on. You don't have to accept or settle and date a little more. Sierra said she would tell herself, even when you don't see it, he's working. Nicole said she would tell herself, slow down. Katrina said she would tell herself, it's okay to let go. It's okay if you don't know, and it's okay to feel. Lori said she would tell herself, walk with God early in life. Don't wait. Give him your life fully. And just a couple more. Sabrina says she would tell herself, love who you are. Learn as much as you can, as often as you can. Be your own unique self. Don't look for happiness in anyone or anything. And don't be afraid to stand out. Fitting in is so overrated. And then finally, Pandora says she would tell herself, listen to your mama. She knows. You see, I decided to do this episode because our oldest daughter, Chanise, graduated from North Carolina A&T State University. You see, I got my Aggie Pride Mom tee on because I am so proud. Chanise graduated with honors with a computer science degree, and she is set to move out, branch out onto her own, get her own place. And not only that, she will be literally moving across the country. Now, as we are facing this particular transition in life, I have had so many people say to me, are you really ready to let her go? And to that, I say this, I have invested so much of myself in my children, and this is the time for them to rise up and shine and show me what I have put in them. You see, I am looking for a return. I have full expectation for them to blossom even more and show me the return on my investment. And when I thought about how to celebrate Chanise as we were rolling into her graduation and she was making moves to transition into what her new beginning was going to be, I wanted to share with her some life wisdoms. And much like what was shared by so many of the beautiful women who tapped in to sharing in our environment, I came up with a few of my own. So I'm going to let you listen in to me speaking into her life, the things that I want to see her accomplish and manifest in her life and encourage her in. So you can listen to my conversation with Chanise. You see, my first life wisdom for you, Chanise, is to chase your dreams. Your dreams are not too big for God. He can make them happen for you. Our God flows effortlessly in the exceedingly and abundantly and above all. He says, delight yourself in him and he will give you the desires of your heart. So I want you to go hard on delighting yourself in him. And I want you to look for him to show up strong for you. You need to know that God loves a dreamer. When you are a dreamer, you give him a very courageous space to show up and show off. So dream big and he will help you chase it down. My second life wisdom for you, Chanise, is higher callings require more. You see, you're at a point where you are making a shift that will demand more from you. But I want you to know that everything you need is already in you. You are absolutely ready to pursue. You are the right person for what lies before you, and it will likely require you to rise to the occasion, to be more open, to be transparent, and come out of your comfort zone. And yeah, it may be even a little difficult to walk in the legacy and calling on your life. But I just want you to know you're ready. You must know and never doubt your worthiness, your ability, your potential. You carry strength from generation of women, past and present, who are all cheering you on. And when it gets hard, and believe me, baby girl, it's going to get hard. I want you to remind yourself of this truth. And those he predestined, he also called. And those he called, he also justified. And those he justified, he also glorified. That's Romans 8:30. You were always predestined for higher callings. May my ceiling be your floor. The next life wisdom that I want to share with you, Chanise, is always have fun. I don't know if you can recall when your dad used to say all of the time, enjoy what the Lord has in store for you. For us, it sounded like a broken record because he would say it over and over and over to everyone, everywhere. Most people simply said goodbye, but not him. He'd make this bold declaration to friends and strangers alike. He'd excitedly smile and declare joy to everyone as a parting gift. He was reminding us to look for good and to enjoy life's journey. Today, my wisdom piggybacks on what your dad so contagiously shared. Always have fun. Yes, enjoy the journey that the Lord has in store for you. But I admonish you to take the reins he gives you and do more of what you enjoy as often as you can. Don't wait for it. Go get it. Life is fleeting, it passes so fast. It seems like yesterday I was where you are now. I'm so thankful that I can look back and feel blessed about what I've experienced because many cannot. Don't let that be you. Your joy matters. So make it in yourself a priority always. Live fully doing the things that make you jump for joy. My next wisdom for you, my beautiful daughter, is never sell yourself short. I can recall when you told me you wanted to major in computer science. And even though I thought it was a great fit for you, I spent the next few weeks trying to talk you out of it for many reasons. The first reason was because it was the field that I worked in, and I just didn't want you to blindly follow me. The second is it's a demanding field, even in school, and you needed to know that the nights would get long often. The next reason is because if I could talk you out of it, then you really didn't want it. And then finally, the last reason is it's a field where there are not many who will look like you. So you will often feel alone. Throughout my entire career, since graduating with my tech degree in 1992, I have very often been the only one. The only one in the row of cubicles that look like me, the only one in the conference room that looked like me. In fact, I have sat in auditoriums filled with hundreds, and less than a handful of us were in there. And now that my career has excelled and I sit with senior leaders in the C suite and company boards, it is the same. You have proven your smarts, and I applaud you for all the recognitions you've received over the years. Not many can say their university has acknowledged them as having held the highest GPA in their class in the major of computer science for their entire college career. But you can. You, my dear, are truly beauty and brains. But where you're going now, especially in the technology field, will require you to win with heart, not just smarts. Know this: you will be discounted, disregarded, misunderstood, and undervalued in the workplace. They will care less about your accolades or your experience. You'll be surrounded by people, peers, and leaders who won't look like you and may not genuinely care about you as a person. You will feel alone. And in those moments, when this hits you square in the face, just know it's not a question of your smarts. It's a question of the courage in your heart. Never sell yourself short, though others may try. I was recently listening to Tyler Perry share there is power in being underestimated. It makes your victory seem even greater. Let them underestimate you, but don't you ever underestimate yourself. And to you, I say, memorize Joshua 1:9 because you will need it. My next life wisdom to you, my beautiful daughter, is independence is strength, but relationships are power. I love your fierce sense of independence. In fact, I admire how you have courage to do just about anything. You are a bit fearless and often refuse to let anything hold you back. Heck, you want to jump out of a plane. You know what you want and you challenge yourself to do it. You are strong and you'll become even stronger as you launch out on your own in Portland. You are definitely 100% Denise 2.0. And I love it and I'm here for it. Just know, mom is not jumping out of a plane with you. Your dad can help you with that. I want to share with you what I consider to be, for me, the most priceless aspect of both my work and life experiences. I believe it's a quality that sets me apart as a leader and as a friend. The result is a blessing I truly value. Now I truly understand its power as I pursue my interests more diligently. It's simple, but so many people mess it up. I am thankful that I took the time to build meaningful relationships with people in my life. Listen, I am so glad I didn't screw it up. Even more, I am so glad I showed up authentically with others. Relationships are a powerful currency in adding to our fulfillment in so many ways. We often underestimate the value of relationship. Forging them requires us to take time to care. It requires us to be emotionally available and to help when we can. I marvel at the fact that I have so many relationships that have lasted over time. I marvel at the fact that my relationships transcend race and gender. I marvel at the fact that I am supported now by so many of my peers and prior bosses. I am blessed to have sustained connection with so many people. In fact, it's my treasure chest. You've started to do this with all of the relationships you've had in your life, be it your coaches and your teachers, your coworkers and your professors, and even your friends. I admonish you to keep those relationships alive and keep building others as your network expands. It is by far an investment that will be so meaningful to you in the years to come. My next life wisdom for you, Chanise, is success is fine, but go for significance. I am so grateful. When I think about my life, all I see is the goodness of the Lord. I am successful and I am not ashamed. God did it. I trusted him and he blessed me. While his blessing added no sorrow, it did not absolve me having to do the work. I fought to become. My life has not been easy, but I turned things around through hard work and a tenacious grind. You have that heart. You too will become. Success will be your reward because you're willing to work for it. Not only that, you think maturely, you seek counsel, you heed wisdom, and you learn from experience. And all of those are excellent traits of those who excel. During fall of 2019, I experienced a time of solitude and reflection that moved me greatly. From it, I realized that success was fine, but more was required. I needed to rigorously pursue significance, to which I submitted, igniting greater purpose, a stronger voice, and a confidence to serve. I love how you're establishing your own convictions, watching you navigate the last year with everything we face personally, publicly, and societally. Confirm for me even more that you're ready for this new beginning. I know someday you too will have your moment where you will know more is required of you. God will impress you to rise. In that moment, don't be afraid. Embrace significance just like you did success. Sure, you'll certainly serve along the way, But you'll know when you're being prompted to shift from acts of service to service as a lifestyle. And when that time comes for you to go all in and live significantly, well, my advice is pretty simple, and it's likely something you've heard before. Just do it. And finally, my very last life wisdom to you, my beautiful daughter, is this: embrace your power and go. God has not given you a spirit of fear, He has given you power. Embrace it fully and go hard. Now, I know that seems like a whole lot. That seems like a lot that I unpacked. Let me just review it. Chase your dreams. Higher calling requires more. Always have fun. Never sell yourself short. Independence is strength, but relationships are power. Success is fine, but go for significance. And finally, embrace your power and go. And I'm sure you picked up on it. You picked up on the fact that I spelled your name, Chanise. A unique name, one that is spelled differently, and one that was specifically designed for you. You see, you were called out of me. And many people don't know the story. When your father and I started dating, we were in college, and we often would go over and visit his grandparents. So they would be your great grandparents. And when I would go, your great grandfather, he would always call me Chanise. And they would say, Dad, that's not her name. Her name is Denise. And for years, no matter how many times they corrected him, he would still call me Chanise. And years passed. In fact, your dad and I dated for a number of years before we got married. And we were married a few years before we even got pregnant with you. And when we learned, when you were born, that you were a beautiful baby girl, we named you Chanise. And it was only then that your great grandfather finally called me Denise. He was calling out of me a beautiful part of me, a courageous part of me, a determined part of me. He was calling out of me you. And so, when you go forward, just know, like I said, you got generations of people who are cheering you on. Life wisdom gets the benefit of leveraging the experience from the person it was shared from. So I sold into you what my life wisdom would be. And I want to encourage you to go and build a life that you love without apology.
Well, that's it, beautiful. Thank you for tuning in. Don't ever forget that you truly deserve life, love, and all the happiness your heart can hold. Be relentless in building a life you love without apology. I'm Denise Taylor, and you can always find me in our free Facebook community. Life, love, in the pursuit of happiness, easy to find. Now, if you want more information about my success superpowers, as I'm sure you do, download my free Success Superpowers ebook at denisetaylor.live/podcast. And one last thing, always embrace your power and go.